artist Sobek, and we're out here in Grove Hall, Roxbury, and we're right in front of one of his murals that he just did like about 2 months ago now, right?
Yeah,
at the,
about 2 months ago.
Yeah, at that Graffiti Against the Wall event?
Graffiti and Grove Hall Day.
Oh, Graffiti and Grove Hall Day. Okay. Yeah. And so, from what I understand, you set up that whole event.
Yes.
That you did.
Yeah. So it pretty much, I'm running an initiative called Back Against the Wall.
Okay.
And my focus is bringing kind of the art of writing back to the more the underserved areas of Boston.
Okay.
I'm really focusing on like from Mattapan, kind of up into the Grove Hall area.
Okay.
Specifically because the art of writing and the history of writing in Boston, for me, from what I learned from the men and women who taught me, it was Mattapan based.
Oh, really? I didn't know that.
Yeah, so I was born and raised in Mattapan, so being in the game still is kind of like, it's my responsibility, it's my duty to kind of keep on educating and evolving this art form.
Yeah, you really are. Like, I was at that event, everybody came out, it was really positive. I saw you while you were doing it. So, but how long altogether, like, how long did it take for you to do that?
I mean, because of the event, it took a little longer.
Right.
But if it was just, just me with the guys out here and it was just us painting, I'll probably give that about 5-6 hours.
Wow. That's good, 5-6 hours? Wow.
And that's only because I've been doing it for years now. I know my style, I know my flow.
Right.
I know what I like and what looks good to me, so I'm just gonna lay it down.
Yeah. What is it like? Like, what is it like? Like, so you sketch. You have like you start with a small sketch, and then how do you know? Like, how do you transfer it onto this huge wall?
That pretty much comes from just experience, because every wall is different.
Right.
Between writers, we say, every wall speaks differently to you.
Okay.
So, and that just meaning, the shape of the wall, the texture, where it's at, the environment, like all of that plays a part into like my zoning out, pretty much. So.
I mean, this is amazing because I'm not an artist, but I used to draw a lot and everything, so I appreciate it a lot. And I want to know, how did you get to the point where you can take a spray can and have so much control and keep it from dripping and getting it to look the way you do?
I mean, again, it's a lot of practice, which pretty much will build the experience for it. And once you just got to keep doing it, and that's how you kind of learn how to control the can. And once you start learning how to control it, meaning like stop it from dripping, is like the first move.
Yeah.
Well, once you learn that, then like the little tips and tricks and all that extra stuff comes along with it, and that's how you kind of build up your repertoire, your style. But really, the basic to it is like, if you want a thin line, get closer to the wall and move quick. If you want like a fatter line, and like quicker fills to cover a larger surface, pull it back a little more and just let it spray. So it's basic techniques, but I can tell you them. But again, it's all just practice.
Right. Okay, so speaking of that, like, how long have you been a graffiti artist? How old were you when you first started?
I first touched a spray can in '98.
Wow.
But in '97, I was like, with the markers, just tagging on the poles and the walls and whatnot, and mostly in my sketchbook, just trying to really figure out this culture, really.
Right. So, okay. So, what was it about graffiti art that drew you to that, and not maybe like some other types of art?
Well, I've been drawing. I started drawing in the 4th grade.
Okay.
So I wasn't new to art when I found, writing.
Yeah.
But it was just like that rebel street culture to it. And at that age, I was still like kind of sheltered church boy. Like, It was just school, church, home.
Yes.
And like in the midst of my travels, I would see it, and I'm just like, I wanna be down. Like, I wanna get out here, and I need to find out more. So I was fortunate to have a cousin who was into it at the time.
Okay.
And he came over, seen my sketches, and he was like, he seen some tags that I was copying on the street.
Oh, okay.
And he pretty much was like, do you know about this? You want to know about it? And he put me hip to the game, and since then I've just been like in love with it.
Yeah.
Absolutely in love with it. Yeah.
Wow, That's really cool. I mean, I love how you're keeping the culture alive, and I think a lot of people, sometimes people kind of forget about graffiti art. When they think of hip hop, they only think of rap, or forget about graffiti art, they forget about dancing, but you're really keeping it alive. Like, do you see a lot of young people still getting into graffiti art a lot?
Absolutely. There's definitely still a very large interest in, and if not for writing, like the letters, just aerosol art, period.
Nice.
Me personally, I'm letters first, but then everything else comes secondary. Meaning, like, you know, the Hello Kitty, the little girl, and all the accessories to complement the letters. But I don't dissuade, especially the young people, from just grabbing a can and just getting expressive with it. Because to me, it's very much so like our art form, it's our culture when it comes to the aerosol. So again, like, it's important for them to learn it, know it, and you know, take it wherever they want to take it. You know, they're not obligated to do letters specifically. Times are changing. I'm just from an era where it was more strict. Like, if you're grabbing a can, you're doing letters first. You know what I'm saying? So I definitely preach and teach that first. But if I see a young lady who's constantly painting butterflies, I'm just like, yo, make the butterfly bigger. Put it on a branch. Like, I'm gonna help nurture that and grow.
Right. That's great. You know, the culture has so much influence, and it's all over the world. I know it's really huge in Europe, and it seems almost like they get a little more respect when you get here. Over here, even to this day, I'll ask a storefront, like, yo, you mind if I paint? I won't even say like spray paint or graffiti. I'll just be like, you mind if I paint your wall? And the first thing that come out their mouth is, we don't want no gangster graffiti. Like, we don't want no gang graffiti. And I'm just like, gang graffiti?
Yeah, it's still tied because like spray paint itself is definitely tied to the gang culture, just like worldwide. Like, from my research, even like over in like Ireland, I'm finding out some of those teens were the first ones to rebel with spray paint. So it definitely has that. It's negative because it's a freedom of speech protest, the spray paint. So it still has its roots to many like mainstream folks in like that negative, you know,
negative outlook on it still?
Yeah, because to them, like, spray paint equals like, you know, anti-government or gang graffiti or just a whole bunch of negative still comes with it. And I'm still astonished because you can't drive nowhere in this city without seeing a large mural created by spray paint.
So it's
Still,
beautiful.
it's I try not to stress over it as much nowadays because to me, I'm gonna paint regardless. But it definitely needs more artists who are controlling spray paint need the freedom to express themselves with their style, you know, in the public.
I mean, the influence is huge though, because I remember, like, even on the buses, where they had the whole thing lined with an advertisement. I mean, they got that from graffiti.
Absolutely.
Like,
absolutely.
You know, but they're not gonna say it or anything. No. But that's okay. But I think graffiti art is more beautiful than just seeing an ad on a bus.
And it's what's interesting is all of the kind of the court cases that are going on with big corporations and, you know, muralists and graffiti artists, because they're just walking up to the wall, taking a picture of a small piece that looks good or will be good on a print, you know, like a t-shirt or pants, and they're just going with it with no permission from the artist. Absolutely.
That's crazy, because you always tag it so they could do the research and find out who it's from.
Easily. And the most the most I ever ask for when I come to give back to my people is if you come get a picture, just, you know, tag me in it. Let me get my social media up.
Yeah,
you know what I'm
exactly.
saying? At least let me get it up. You know
I didn't know
what I'm
people were doing that. So people would like come and take a picture of this and then go get a print of it and put it on shirts.
Yeah, they put it on shirts. And another big thing is there are tons of like you know, street art pages, graffiti pages that are all focused on promoting the art.
Okay.
But they will just come take pictures of your work or grab it off of your page and put it on theirs.
That's terrible.
Most of them do tag you in it.
Oh, okay.
But to me, it's still it's still business. It's still business.
It's all business.
So,
You're an artist. I mean, you couldn't walk into a museum just like lift the painting off the
exactly,
wall. You're getting
exactly.
arrested. It's art. Oh, okay.
So yeah,
Okay.
we still like this art still has a long way to go as far as like the respect it
Right.
deserves in the art world. And it needs to be more open to like the artists who actually lose sleep practicing this craft. You know, not just a small handful that like the public loves, so they're the poster boy or the poster woman for this art form. You know, so.
Yeah, that's crazy. I know, and it's huge. Because I see the influence everywhere, even in just like you go downtown, like even in the what is it called, the ink block. Down there, it's beautiful, beautiful murals, but that all came from graffiti. Like that all came from that. You go and you see these huge buildings downtown. They got paintings of dolphins and all kinds of stuff, and it's gorgeous. But I look at that and say, okay, I know you got that from graffiti. I mean, can you pay these?
It's like
just
give us the
graffiti
respect,
artists some money. You know what I mean?
That's pretty much it.
Yeah.
And by like when I say like give us our respect and our paid dues, it's like if I walk into a business or a storefront and like this is what I do, can I share my craft with you?
Right.
Instead of them being like, we don't want this gangster graffiti. It'll be more professional for them to be like, we love your work, we love what you do, but this is not the style we're looking for.
Yeah, that would.
But thank you for your time. You know.
Yeah.
That is more.
Yeah.
It's more of a professional way to kind of handle this art form instead of just dusting us under the rug.
You would think by now people would get it, but I guess it takes a long time.
Yeah. You know? It again is. It is worldwide and it is mainstream, but it's still only in certain areas. You know what I'm saying? So, as far as Dorchester is concerned, you're not gonna hear it as much as you'll hear like Wynwood, Miami, or like Venice Beach in Cali. You know what I'm saying? So that's something I would like to change. Like we don't need to be a tourist attraction, but it needs to be known that these community artists hooked up their community.
Yeah.
And it was beautiful.
Definitely.
So.
Definitely, yeah. So I know, like here at this business, how did you get the permission to do that here?
Yeah. Well, the history of this lot is real deep, like plus 30 years deep as far as like what's gonna happen with this vacant lot. So I just decided to come paint the barriers. At risk to, you know, my freedom, my craft. I was like, it has to get done.
Right.
So as I started painting over there on the barriers, Moses, who owns this car shop, he came and he spoke to me and he says he loves the work and he would really love something done on his wall.
I like
so, I kind of negotiate with him because his vision is a street art vision. And I said, I'll give you that if you give me this first. And so he let me kind of do the event, which was the Graffiti and Grove Hall Day. So it's a big thanks to Moses for being open-minded to kind of the culture of writing first and letting me kind of break down to him like this area the history is big in this area, bro. Like if you let me do this, I got you on what you want next. You know, so he let it happen, and it was again the chain reaction from what he allowed me to do here is just beautiful. It's beautiful and it's ongoing. So.
Yeah, that's dope because you can even see it when you're driving down. You can just turn and you can see it. And it's like, oh, what's that over there? So,
yeah, absolutely.
Everyone in the community. Okay. So I gotta ask you, like your name, Sobek. Where did you get that name from? Is there a story behind that?
Well, Sobek is the Egyptian crocodile god. I'm a big fan of like S's starting off my name. So even names I've had in the past, they all led with the S. So it was just a really rough period in time for me personally in my life, and I was just like, it would be really good to kind of reinvent myself in this craft because this is my roots, and in order for me to feel good about life right now, I need to go back to my roots. So I was actually watching a show called Face Off, and it's like I forgot what you call those artists, but they do all the monster faces and whatnot for the movies, and a guy was given Sobek as his challenge. And he killed it. He killed it with such an Egyptian flair. Yeah. And I was like, I'm gonna start writing Sobek. And it just, from then on, I just started scribbling the name, and the rest is history. And this was I want to say 2013 is when I chose to write it.
Oh, all right.
I was writing name before, but I can't. I'm not gonna. I can't really. Yeah, I can't say that name because remnants of it is still out here.
Oh, all right.
So I'm not gonna say that name.
Okay,
but,
that's cool. That's cool.
Sobek has been. I'm only gonna say more positive as to I've been respecting other people's property with this name.
Right.
So
okay.
I'm good with like bringing Sobek to the public. You know what I'm saying?
Okay, so with this piece right here, what do these letters actually say?
So the letters itself says SBK. The face right there of the little girl, that's my little cousin. She represents the O, and the Hello Kitty represents the E.
Oh.
So yeah, I wanted Pro Black to get next to me because this is like our first time painting together.
Oh, okay.
So I was like, I'm gonna do an SBK, and he just showed up and was like, yeah, I'm just gonna do a PBK, and I was like, ooh, it just flowed in unison. So the letters flowed, and then the accessory scheme, which was his character driving his letters. I flowed off of him when he started sketching it, cause like I'm one of those guys, like I'm always gonna look over my shoulder if I'm next to someone else. I'm like, what they doing? How can I like flow off of them?
Yeah.
'Cause, I ain't trying to get showed up, never.
right. Yeah.
But the idea was so dope, and I was like, yo, Black man, I'ma flow off of you with the scheme. And he didn't say nothing. He just started smiling, and I know it was go time. So yeah.
Yeah, it's dope. Now I remember I was here. I saw you guys doing it. I didn't get to see the completed thing, until now. But yeah, it's dope. It totally flows together.
Thank you.
Okay, it's really cool. You know the meaning behind it. Okay, so here we are out in Ripley Park in Dorchester, and we're at another one of your murals. So first of all, tell us, what does that say? What is that all about?
Well, instead of Sobek this time, this one says Xerox. Pretty much this whole production was put together in honor of my man Xerox.
Okay.
Because this was his kind of legal writing space for him to come express himself, but also for the young man Fly Tie, who he's from the neighborhood and his life was taken way too soon. But he was one of Boston's up and coming. I don't like saying rapper because it's just too mainstream, but he was a lyricist. Like
nice.
He was nice. His wordplay for his time, the era he was doing it. Yeah, he was nice. He was really nice. Yeah. So his life was taken way too early, right before the release of his first album.
Wow.
So that's why like this neighborhood, his family, they constantly come out to show love because they know like where he would have gone. Yeah. If his life wasn't taken short. So,
right. Okay. Yeah, that's beautiful. There's a memorial out here. Everything. Okay. So you said his birthday was recently?
Yeah. I want to say 2 weeks ago now. Okay. So I came up here. I was invited up here by the family to kind of just spend some time with him. They, just showing me love for, putting his portrait back up there.
Beautiful. So now out here, like, do you see a lot of the young people like really trying to learn the culture, the whole culture of graffiti art? Do you see that still happening?
I mean, there's definitely those who want to learn, and there's definitely those who love seeing it and watching it in action. I like to call them like writing enthusiasts. Okay. Because they have so much love for the culture. Yeah. And again, they have a sense that it's theirs. So, and it's a ton of like people who are not artists, have like no art bone in their body, but they know how important this kind of art and culture is for our people first and foremost. So that's why they have like so much love for it. So.
I think it's really cool that you're keeping the culture alive and you're passing it along, and you're doing a lot for the community. Do you have like other events coming up, anytime soon?
I'm planning just like a real small kind of art show right now. Okay. Definitely won't be as big as the first two events. I gotta like start cracking down to get a lot of mural projects done. Yeah. But there's definitely gonna be a smaller art show later this month. Still putting that all together.
All right.
So I definitely keep y'all informed about that.
Yeah, definitely.
Again, I'm I plan on doing something once a month
Oh, that's a lot.
that is, back against the wall driven. Um, and, as the weather changes and get colder, it's not always going to be like live art outside.
Right, right.
But my mission remains the same no matter the weather. So I'll find different ways to pull it off.
Okay. Good, good. So now I know it's tough for hard artists to make money doing what they do. Has it been difficult for you to get to the point where you can get paid for your work and paid for murals? What's that process like?
Yeah, it's definitely difficult.
Okay.
It's been difficult for me.
Yeah.
Again, you'll come across artists who are like, well, I've never had a 9 to 5 in my life. All I do is paint. And
that's
then
great.
there's those artists who like they have the 9 to 5, they have children, and before they can't move no more, they're filling out grants and proposals. They're studying their craft. So that's pretty much what it was like for me. So the journey has been absolutely agonizing.
Yeah.
But right now, I'm at a point where I work for myself.
Good.
I create. I have kind of the say-so in what I create and how I present it and who I create it for.
All right.
So I'm blessed to be in this position now, but it was definitely not overnight.
Yeah,
whatsoever.
That's tough.
And this is why I take this so serious. Some people are just like, bro, you just paint all day. And I'm just like, yeah, but no. There's a whole...
Right.
It's been decades of me just trying to learn how to control what I'm doing first. And then be able to, come up with concepts and then tell my story and present my culture behind aerosol art. So it's more than just painting on the wall.
Right.
It's important. It's definitely important to. It's important to me for what I'm leaving for the rest of the community to see, because it's some of these walls I show up and I'm gone. I may be in the neighborhood still, but I'm not across the street from the wall.
Right,
so
right.
You're forced to look at what I've done day in and day out. So it's important for me to leave something beautiful first and foremost. But something with a message, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah, and you're making the communities beautiful. When I see this artwork, it just brightens it up. Other than that, it would just be a boring wall. And I think it makes people take pride in their community when you see something so beautiful,
Yeah.
You don't want to trash it.
Yeah, you don't want to just throw trash.
Right,
wall,
right.
So, yeah.
Okay. So I know earlier we were talking and you mentioned that you're working on coming out with a clothing line, but tell us about that.
Well, it's just tossing around imagery ideas.
Yeah.
But clothing is definitely something I'm gonna go for. It's just I used to do the whole personalized T-shirts, book bags, airbrushing and all that stuff.
Yeah.
So my early young adult years, that's how I was getting the money. I love it. But I always didn't like the journey of making it.
Why? What was that like?
So, it's just the textures, and sometimes I would have to stick stuff in the sleeve so the fabric don't fold, and I need it all straight. Yeah, so all of those little minor aggravations and headaches at the time.
Yeah.
End results were always yes.
Yeah.
But I still want my imagery on things that will travel around the city, travel around the states or what have you. So it's not just clothing, what I'm saying. There's all kinds of little trinkets, and I got the time and the means to do so. So I'm exploring all of my avenues right now.
Cool.
Whatever people like the most, I'll give that to them.
Yeah.
Because I always have this for me.
Of course, yeah.
So I'm trying to figure something out that the people are just yo, I gotta have it.
Yeah. Where else can we see your artwork? What parts of the city?
Besides, the Grove Hall, and this is the Four Corners area, and this is Ripley Park. If you cruise down Dorchester Avenue, kind of coming from Ashmont towards Fields Corner, I keep forgetting the name of the Mexican restaurant, but it's a Mexican restaurant that I collab with AOA Supply, good people. So they let me put my little Sobek flare on the top, and
Yeah.
they absolutely hooked up the rest of the wall. So that came out dope. Me and a friend of mine, we did a mural for the Fields Corner Station.
Okay.
So just cruise down Dorchester Ave, right under the bridge.
All right.
You'll see, my man in Sobek.
Okay.
If you go Austin Brighton right now, I have a lot out there.
All right.
And it's like that intersection of Cambridge Street and Harvard Street, I believe.
Okay.
I have a lot of work over there. Me and Apex, actually, we just finished something last weekend.
Oh, really?
So,
Really?
we're still making art over there. We got
Okay.
plans on doing more new work on our free time. So
Yeah.
there's going to be a lot more new work over there. Where else? To the public, that might be kind of the gist of it. I have some pieces in like storefronts, like Dorchester
Okay.
Art Project.
Nice.
They have one of my pieces in their storefront.
Okay.
Scope Apparel, I just did something for them yesterday, actually,
Nice.
so that was
Nice.
fun. And Laced in Copley Mall.
All right.
If you go inside Laced and ask for the tour, it's gonna blow your mind away.
Really?
It's
Okay.
gonna blow your mind away. I have a few pieces in there as soon as you open up the door. But I'm only the beginning of the tour. Like,
Right,
yeah,
right.
it's hooked up in there. So
Oh, wow. I have to check that out.
I'll say right now, those are like the top spots where you can definitely find some Sobek work.
Okay. Cool. So now, when you were younger, when you first started like tagging and everything, were you like running around? Did you ever have to run from the cops or anything like that? Or, you know?
Yeah, I mean, yeah. Mattapan was my stomping ground. Like Mattapan Square, and back then we were calling it the Bricks. They
Right.
raised me, so
Yeah.
everything I know about hiding, jumping, leaping, hitting
Yeah.
the cut, like I learned it in Mattapan Square.
Okay.
But I've been chased, but I've
Yeah.
never been handcuffed for
Good.
riding.
Great.
And that's a blessing, because right now it would like crush my soul to like kind of be restrained by the law when
Right.
it comes to like this art. So I've been blessed to like get away.
Yeah.
So
Now are they still really out there like that after people, or has it calmed down?
it depends on the area.
Okay. All right.
It depends on the area.
Right.
I've had the cops called on me at a place I paint at Mission Hill.
Right.
It's one of those unwritten laws where it's like it's an abandoned lot space. So
Right.
the owner, before he left, was like, "Do what y'all want."
Okay.
So we've been doing so, but depending on how the neighbors are feeling that day, they'll call the cops or they won't.
Oh my God.
So they were feeling some kind of way about me one day, and they called the cops, and the cops came, and they got to do their job,
Right,
so they
right,
came
right.
with force.
Wow.
And I explained to them, showed them my business card,
Oh,
and
good.
I'm just like, I did this. This
Yeah.
ain't my first rodeo.
Right.
And like they kind of, not to put them out there, they like, but they kind of like was like, "You did these," and they were kind of like, and did the little huddle, but
Yeah.
they let me know, like, neighbors called, we have to do our job.
Right.
So, I did the pat down, exchange the information.
Okay.
They walked me out. But they let me know, like, what you're doing is dope. It's
Okay.
just that,
Cool.
they complain about this
Yeah.
area, we have to do our job.
Right.
But they was like, "Yo, you're good, bro.
Oh, good.
Like,
So,
keep
wow.
it up." You know
Oh,
what I'm
so
saying?
that's
So
what's up. So these
it's sometimes you get those
Mm-hmm.
lucky situations where the law is like, we understand this art form, we
Right.
understand what it's about, like you
That's
can't
good.
finish, but we're gonna let you leave. You know what I'm
Okay.
saying? But there are the ones where it's like, nah, bro, turn around, get against the wall. So
wow.
again, I've been fortunate enough to kind of cruise by,
Yeah.
but they're definitely out there. And again, it really depends on like what you're doing. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
If they had walked up on me and they seen me drawing like penises and gang signs,
Right,
and, like
right.
I'm handcuffed right away.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
for the simple
Yeah.
fact, like they seen my sketchbook, they seen my like they seen me focusing on something.
Yeah.
They were like, he's not just here to deface property. Like
Nice.
he's about to create something. So that there are officers who notice that,
Okay.
and even though they have to do their job,
Yeah.
they're still kind of vouch for you at risk to, you know, themselves. They're like,
Right.
listen, he's not here destroying stuff.
Mhm.
Like, we're gonna let him go and we'll see you at the office type of deal. So
Yeah.
I appreciate those you know, men and women in uniform.
That's good. No, that's
But
good. That's
yeah,
good.
it's
Okay.
and to me that's important because like they are building relationships. You know what
Right.
I'm saying? Those young people are gonna go back to their neighborhood like, yo, they got me, but
Yeah.
they let me go. That was real cool.
Yeah.
So they're gonna have like a certain level of respect. They may not share with their buddies, but they
Right.
will have a certain level of respect for those officers. And it's on the officers' behalf. It's just like it's good rapport for
Right.
what they're trying to do, protect and serve. If they're really trying to protect and serve,
Yeah.
it's going to allow them to do so because now they done started building a comfort zone, especially with the young people.
Good.
To where it's like, we know you cutting up,
Yeah.
we let you go, but work with us. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
to me, that's just as important as well.
That's good.
So yeah.
That's cool. Now I know earlier when we talked a little off camera, you were talking about like your black book and the whole like kind of culture of it. You want to explain
Yeah.
some of that to people?
So when I was raised in the game, my first rule when I got down with a crew, MBN crew, and they owned Mattapan at the time, so I had to be down with them.
Yeah.
That was like my only goal in life.
Okay.
So at 98, I got down with MBN, and my man Fumes, who's running it, his first rule was like, you get a black book. Like if you don't have a black book and if you're not rocking the piece every day, you're out. Like just like that.
Wow.
Just like that. And at that time, like I was like, them dudes taught me how to break dance. They taught me how to. So I was already in the crew. You know what I'm saying? But I was in the other elements and in other parts of it. And that's like how devoted. Like it was a real like ninja society. Like yeah, you may hang on the block with us, but when we go graph or do this writing, you can't roll because it's a whole nother world, a whole nother territory that we ain't trained you for.
Okay.
You're not gonna get us caught. You see what I'm saying?
Oh,
So,
right, yeah.
It's one of those type of things. So I had to work my way through like each stage of hip hop. You know what I'm
I
saying?
love that.
Just to get down with like the graph crew. You know what I'm saying? So I had to have a sketchbook at all times.
Okay.
And we didn't refer to it as a sketchbook. You couldn't have that floppy
Oh,
sketchbook
okay. You
with
did
the
the
rings.
hard
You had
cover.
to have a black book, with a
Right.
hard black cover.
Yeah, I know the kind
It
you're
was
talking
the black book, and we didn't call it the black book.
What'd you call it?
It was our Bible. Back then.
Nice.
So when we showed up for the crew meetings or for like the crew check-ins,
Yeah.
you got your Bible? It was like, yep. And then you walk on in and, you know,
Wow.
the session begins or whatnot. But a Bible on deck was always, when it came to NBN crew, you always had to be sketching. At like every weekend, we had a particular wall off of the Green Line tracks that we would ride from Mattapan Station out. Like we didn't do the trains, we did the trolleys. Like we would hit up the trolleys and the buses, because you know to get out of Mattapan, you got to get the trolley or the bus. So those were our prime hitting spots. But we had a small wall, and on a weekly basis, you got to be rocking a piece on that wall. You got to develop your can control. So I reminisce about those days all the time, because it's like I would not be who I am today if all of those dudes did not instill discipline in me and respect for this craft. You know, there was no down talking this craft. You know what I'm saying? If a fine artist or a photographer came, it was like, what is that? Yo, we're bulldogs and we're on your back. And we're like, we're throwing our cans at you, like, do it. Write the letter A.
Right, let's see you do it. Can you do it?
So like they
Nice.
taught me to be real bulldog about the culture. They taught me to respect it, and like they let me know, like, bro, this is yours. You were raised by being raised in Mattapan. You were raised into this culture.
Okay.
You're obligated. So I hear their voices in the back of my head to this day, and that's why like I can't stop. You know what I'm saying? I can't ease up. Like it's for them first and foremost, and for the young folks who are like me. You know what I'm saying? So that's why I do it.
They really raised you. They taught you. I think, like, I didn't know that. Like, about the, like, it's kind of like an underground culture. How disciplined you guys were. I can think a lot of people don't even know that. You know.
And it shows as you're getting up. tagging and bombing and rocking
Right.
pieces on the low. Like it shows
Yeah.
in your work. Nowadays, I can like look at the tags and be like, yo, this young person need a mentor. Like
Okay.
they're wilding out right now. They need somebody to reel them in. And
Yeah.
it's a little bit too much of that. I love that they going hard in the paint.
Right.
Like that's what it's about. But there is such thing as too hard in the paint. And
Okay.
when like, if I'm like out here rocking a piece and community is just like, yo, who's such and such? They better stay off my property or we gonna get them. Like when the community
right.
starts talking like that,
Right.
that's when it's like, nah,
Yeah.
you need to come reel it in because
Okay.
they ain't even supposed to know about our culture like that. For them to speak like brazen like
Okay,
that,
okay.
it's like, yeah, you're doing too much. You're doing
All
too much.
right.
There's still, to me, it's still important to have like a stealth aspect to this art. And like, yeah, my face is on TV. Like I'm interviewing, everybody knows
Right.
who Sobek is.
Right.
And that's, to me, that's cool. Make me a household name. But at any point in time, I can come out here and rock a totally different name and nobody will know it's me.
That's true.
With a totally different style. Like, so for me, I'm at the point in my game where at any point in time, I can go right back to my roots and be ninja with it. Because
Okay.
I know, it's because of my upbringing. You
Yeah,
know what I'm saying?
yeah.
So like, men and women who raised me in this culture didn't even know I was Sobek until about 2016, 2017.
Wow.
So
I like
I'm true to that
Yeah.
aspect of the game. So
yeah.
now I'm in a position to where like I'm obligated to promote, again, educate, and teach. So Sobek is out here.
Nice.
You know what I'm saying? There could be a point in time where like somebody could be asking like, yo, who's such and such?
Yeah.
And I'd be like, I don't know, but it could definitely be me. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
And that's
like
just, that's just my love for the game. Like I love it. If you want to see me act like a child again,
Yeah.
let's talk writing. Let's talk
Okay.
about like the stealth mode of it.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I'm all in it. I'm all in it. You know, because to me, it's still very much so rebellious. It's still very much so underground.
Yeah.
And to me, there's no better feeling than me having to crawl and get dirty
Okay.
just to rock a few letters
Yeah.
in an unknown location that like nobody else will see. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
To me, that's like, I just love that. I love it. To
Yeah.
me, it's like that's what the game's about. Like it's like a hide and go seek.
Cool.
Go find my burner. If you
Yeah.
find it,
Yeah.
you get top respects because that means you went through the trenches
True.
just to go get a picture. Like that's what it used to be about.
Okay.
And like, it's like in the Shaolin Temple, you learn something, you practice for years, and then one morning you wake up enlightened because it's like it finally hit you.
Okay.
It's the same with the writing. Like,
Wow.
do it in the cuts and the crevices.
Yeah.
And now we got social media, so you
Right.
can put it out there.
Yeah.
I'm one of
Yeah.
those dudes still that's looking at like the corners of your piece and it's just like, yo, where did he do this at?
Right. Right.
It's just naturally in me. So, and that's what that has to stay part of the game. Like it
Nice.
can't be all street art, mural, street like all these shows for the public.
Right,
like
right.
at some point, I want everybody to be quiet. I want everybody to leave me alone, and all I want to hear is the birds and the river in my cane shaking.
Wow.
And to me, that's when I'm like, I'm home.
I love that. I love that. You know, sometimes like you'll be out somewhere, you'll be driving down the highway or somewhere, whatever, and you'll see some graffiti and it'll be like way up in the air and something, and I'm thinking they risk their lives pretty much to do that.
Yeah.
That's so cool.
And
that's beautiful.
They do, and still to this day, you know, the media, community, people everywhere just like, why would they do that though? It's like, that's stupid.
I don't look at it.
But it's like, you don't know that individual first off. You
Right.
don't know what's happening in that individual's life. I could personally tell you, there have been moments in my life where I have been straight depressed until I grabbed a spray paint.
Okay.
When I was painting, I was absolutely fine. I could work life out or
Right.
forget about life.
Yeah.
And I was that much better when I had to go back and deal with the world. So that person
Wow.
hanging off the bellboard
Yeah.
could be on some, I really don't want to be here right now type of shit. And
Wow.
they're going to be like that until they get it out. And when they get it out, they're going to climb down and just like, I'm going to go back home. You
Yeah,
know what I'm
and they're
saying?
at peace.
So
That's
it's all of those little tidbits. And that's why people can't just dismiss it as gangster graffiti or
Right.
look at this idiot hanging from the building. Like, nah, they going through something. So
Yeah.
instead of like bashing them, it probably would be in the public's best interest to find out who they are and like help them. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? Before
Exactly.
this the vandalism behavior becomes more physical, it gets more extreme, you know what I'm saying? So this, when I see all the tagging and the bombing, I'm just like, yo, that person is utilizing that outlet. I hope I get to meet them.
Yeah.
Because like I need to find out what they're about. You know, there's a reason why they're going so hard in the paint right now.
Yeah.
You know, so I don't dismiss it. You know what I'm saying? So it shouldn't be dismissed.
No, it should not be dismissed. And it's art. Right? It's art. You know, and that's what art does. It's therapy. It helps you. So
Absolutely.
I mean, I really appreciate you, Sobek. Thank you for your time with us today. I appreciate your art. Everybody, go check out this man's art. And just tell everybody again where they can find you, social media, and even certain locations where your art is.
Well, Instagram would be the best. And that's Super Sobek 6. You got to spell out the 6. Yeah, I'll say Instagram. That's where the bulk of my work goes. That's where you'll see all of my work and everything I'm doing. As far as the Back Against the Wall initiative, that's go away to the carbon. That's BATWBOS, and that's the Instagram for Back Against the Wall.
Thank you, everybody, for tuning into Trill TV. You know where to find me. You know where to find the show. Please like, subscribe, and share. Pat and Scott Trill TV. Peace.